All right, so today we're going to break down something pretty wild, one creator's actual blueprint to make almost $500,000 from Facebook and Instagram in just 1 year. We're going to look at the numbers, the biggest hurdle, and the exact system they're using to pull it off. Okay, let's just start with the number $478,544. Now, that's not a lifetime goal. It's not a team's revenue. That's the specific amount one single creator is projecting to earn from his social media content in a single year. I know, right? It's a mind-boggling figure, and it brings up the obvious question. How? I mean, is this just some wild guess pulled out of thin air, or is there a real system behind it? Well, that's what we're here to do. Unpack the exact strategy, the tools, and the workflow that make a number like this even seem possible. So here's how we're going to tackle this. We'll start with the goal itself. Then we'll dissect where that number actually comes from and look at the huge challenge that comes with it. Then we'll get into the good stuff, the system, and the so-called cheat code that makes the whole thing work. Okay, so the first thing you have to understand about that giant number is that it is not a guess. Yeah, it's a huge, audacious goal for sure, but it's also a really carefully calculated projection that's based on his current earnings and a pretty conservative growth model. To really get why this goal is actually realistic, we kind of need to look under the hood. This isn't about one viral video hitting the jackpot. It's way more like a carefully constructed portfolio of different income streams, all working together. And this is where it gets really interesting. The whole plan is diversified. It's a mix of direct cash from Facebook and Instagram, big ticket brand sponsorships, and then just a little bit of projected growth on top. If he was relying on just one of these, it'd be super risky. But by combining them, he's building a much, much stronger foundation. And check this out. This is where the math really starts to click. The whole projection is built on a solid base of about 24 grand a month that's already coming in. On top of that, he's already locked in $50,000 in brand deals with another $50,000 pretty much lined up. The final piece of the puzzle? Just a super conservative 4 to 8% growth estimate for the year. All of a sudden, that huge number starts to look very, very real. But okay, here's the catch. There's always a catch, right? To make that kind of money, you need a superhuman amount of content. And this is the challenge every creator hits when they try to scale up. How do you keep feeding the algorithm without completely burning yourself out? I mean, just think about that for a second. Over 20 pieces of content every single day. That's a new post almost every hour you're awake. Trying to manage that by hand isn't just a headache, it's a guaranteed recipe for total burnout. And this is where the standard tools just start to break. I mean, Meta's own business suite is free, which is nice, but it's clunky and was never built for this kind of volume. And tools like Buffer, they're great for basics, but they just don't have the kind of deep content organization you need for a 20-post-a-day schedule. You need a system that's literally built for scale. So what's the fix? How do you actually solve this massive problem? Well, it's not about working harder, that's for sure. It's about having a smarter system. This creator's entire strategy revolves around a specific workflow designed to organize, automate, and recycle his content as efficiently as possible. The whole system really breaks down into 3 core ideas. First, you organize everything into what he calls content buckets. Second, you automate the heck out of your schedule so you're not doing it manually. And third, you work smarter by strategically republishing your greatest hits. Okay, let's talk about these buckets because this is the key to the whole organization piece. Just imagine you have different folders for your different kinds of posts. One for text, one for images, one for videos. You tell the system, hey, post something from the image bucket every day at 9 a.m. and post from the text bucket at 2 p.m. And that's it. After that, your only job is to just keep topping off the buckets with content. The system handles everything else. All right, now for the part about working smarter, not harder. This quote right here is everything. The amazing post you create today, in a week, it's going to be pretty much invisible to most of your followers. And while that might sound kind of depressing, it actually opens up this massive opportunity. So here's the big aha moment. If a post did really, really well, why on earth would you just let it die after a week? This system lets you easily see your best performing content, and after about a 30-day cooldown, you just add it back to the queue to be published again. Bam! You get new engagement, new reach, and new revenue, all with zero extra creative work. It's brilliant. Okay, so we've got organization, we've got automation, but what about the ideas themselves? How in the world do you come up with 20+ new ideas every day? This brings us to the final piece of the system, and it's what the creator himself calls his cheat code. And yeah, he calls it a cheat code for a reason. It helps solve the single biggest, most frustrating problem for any creator: staring at a blank page. Instead of just guessing what your audience might like, this tool lets you see what's already working. So, what is it? Well, it's this incredibly powerful competitor analysis tool. You can literally plug in any public Facebook page in your niche and instantly see a list of their most successful posts. It basically takes all the guesswork out of your content strategy by giving you a roadmap of proven topics and formats that you know resonate with your audience. And the way you can drill down is it's incredible. You can filter by content type. So if you only want to see viral videos, you can do that. You can set the time frame from yesterday all the way back to 3 years ago. And you can sort by what matters most to you, whether that's likes, shares, or whatever. Now, here's a really important warning that comes with a tool this powerful. The goal is never to just steal or copy someone else's work. It's all about research and inspiration. You find a concept that's proven to work, and then you figure out how to recreate it in your own unique voice with your own spin for your own audience. All right, so let's just recap the entire blueprint real quick. You've got the goal, that massive but totally calculated $478,544. You've got the problem, that relentless, soul-crushing content treadmill. And you've got the three-part solution: organize with content buckets, recycle your winners by republishing, and find endless ideas with competitor analysis. And all of this really leads to one final question, one for you to think about. Looking at this system, it kind of forces you to ask, is my own content strategy built to actually scale, or is it just built to survive day to day? It's a powerful thing to consider as you build your own blueprint.